There have been so many times in my life where God has planted certain seeds within me, whether it be ideas, projects, major life decisions, career opportunities, relationships, and instead of taking the path towards that, I didn't feel like I was prepared. And I just want to make this video to remind everybody, it is not God that's procrastinating, it's you. When God planted that seed in your mind and your heart, you are supposed to be tending to that the same way that you would water a plant so that you could actually see growth, so you could actually see these things come into fruition. As the year's getting close to an end, it makes me think all those things back in January when everybody makes those New Year's resolutions and you stay so committed for a minute and something comes up. The seasons change, the ideas change, the goals change. We stray away from those ideas, those thoughts, when if we actually just kept working towards that, by now those things would have come into completion. God had planned for you to be 100 pounds down in a happy, stable, loving relationship. If we don't take those steps, if we don't take care of the things that need to be taken care of, the ideas that need to be taken care of, we'll never see it happen. Reach out to God, pray. But you also need to be super aware of the environments that you are in, because at times God may give you this thought, this feeling that is meant to turn into something so beautiful, that is meant to change your life and the lives of so many others. But the environment that you're in, the same way if a plant is in a dark, cold, damp environment and it's supposed to be somewhere where there's light, it won't grow. You need to be aware of your surroundings. You need to be aware of the people in your life that are adding to that doubt, that are adding to that fear of failure, that are making you feel unworthy of the blessings that are quite literally already yours. You need to pay attention to those times where you're talking about something that you're so passionate about and somebody questions you over it. You need to be mindful and go through those stages as well in your life where you prune and get rid of all those things. Whether it be you struggle with temptation, with lust, with greed, whatever, all these things that are getting in the way of your growth, in the way of your blessings, are quite literally sins. Like, there's a whole list of them. You can search it up yourself. But usually, the things that are getting in the way are... It's pretty straightforward. You just gotta be intentional, and you seek out what is meant to be yours. Because when God put that idea within you, and you really don't know. You let years pass, you picked up habits you didn't need, you lost focus, you forgot about it completely. And then one day it hits you again. There's still hope, there's still a chance, there's still an opportunity for you to become the person you are meant to be. It's all you. Take accountability, make a change, and get rid of those distractions. Do your best to filter out all those negative thoughts, the doubt, the fear. I'm extremely fortunate because my best friend is 75 years old. And when I say she has lived, she has lived. That's my grandma, by the way. Whenever I feel like I'm not doing enough or I feel that bit of stagnancy come up, I go to her. She's always been somebody in my life that will not allow me to waste my potential, waste my creativity, waste my ideas, my dreams, because she's gotten to live her life to a point where she has seen those moments where there were seeds that were planted and she did not nurture them. And that is not saying that she has not made amazing choices, because she is like everything that I ever wish to become. She has lived the most amazing, fruitful life and still has so much more life in her to continue to live. But when it comes to those pivotal moments, especially when she was in the stage of life that I currently am, the level of wisdom that I can gain from even just a simple conversation with her is such a blessing. So when it comes to those conversations, she's always pushing me. She sees me for what I'm capable of in a similar way to how God does. And she doesn't want me to let those things fade. Whenever that doubt does come in, I'm grateful that I have somebody that I can lean on. We all have those moments where it's like there's a spark. Something goes off in your mind. And it's a matter of what you do with that. You could let that fade, you could let that pass. Or you could actually try to make that vision come true, because God gave it to you for a reason. God planted that seed for a reason. I had somebody approach me not too long ago. I can't remember the exact verbiage, but they had said something along the lines of, I've waited 15 years to shoot my shot. And it's so crazy because I had no idea. I had no idea they felt this way. Who's to say that 15 years ago I didn't feel the same way? Who's to say that 5 years ago I didn't feel the same way? Who's to say that today I don't feel the same way? If you don't say how you feel, if you don't take the steps, like in that situation, there needs to be action. But if he just sat on that for like another 40, 50 years, what the heck? Like, it's just so crazy. Life is meant to be lived. We're not supposed to let these seeds just die. And that's what happens if you don't nurture these things, these thoughts, these feelings. They will die the same way a plant will. Sometimes you get these seeds and you don't even know what they are. Have you ever had that happen? Where you get some seed and you plant it and all of a sudden, instead of an apple tree, you have a cherry blossom? I love those. They're beautiful. But anyways, you never know what can come of these thoughts. The only one that knows is God. And the fact that God is giving you even that vision, that is God letting you know that he believes you are capable. If you seek what he has put within you, God will also be there with you along the way, because that's just part of the plan. Talk to God, reach out to God, ask God for the guidance, ask God for the tools. If you do that, you will see these things come. You will see these things come. You never know the outcome. And God is there protecting you, guiding you. You need to live life every day knowing that you are blessed and highly favored. God knows that you are chosen to make this come into the world. The second I think or feel something, I typically will say it. People think I'm a little, I don't know. I don't really care. I don't really inquire. I guess I come off as a little direct at times, because if I'm feeling something, if I'm thinking something, I'll say it. If I want to compliment somebody, I'll compliment somebody. If I want to smile at somebody, I'll smile at somebody. If I find somebody to be attractive, I'll tell them I find you to be attractive. I'll say what I'm thinking, because I'm always just thinking like, God is navigating me. Let's see how it goes. Let me trust it. And I also get that too from my grandma when it comes to those things. The last thing I ever want is to miss an opportunity, or to mishandle an opportunity or a blessing. So yeah, let this be your reminder. Stop procrastinating. You are the one that is procrastinating. It is not God. God is not doubting you. You need to get started. If you want something to happen, you need to make it happen. You need to trust the process. You might think that whatever is on the other side of all of this is the greatest thing that could ever possibly happen to you. If that dream comes true, that might be everything that you want in your life to feel complete. But the crazy part is, once you complete that, God's gonna come right back and plant another seed. God trusts you enough to give you that idea. And that's so cool. You don't want to wait until you're 80, 90 years old to start that book, to apply for that job, to reach out to your crush. You don't want to wait. Life is so short and so beautiful. And if we let these moments pass, they will pass. We can't predict what tomorrow will bring. So why not take your chance today? Why not try today? Say something today. Let them know. Let the world know. And see and feel what God has put within you. You're here for a reason. I'm here for a reason. I make these videos for my son, you know. I don't think I've ever said that. But I make these videos for my son because these are the little tidbits I like to give for him. I don't like it to be much of a lecture. And he's always watching YouTube, so that's kind of why I do it. But in doing so too, I feel within my heart I can help others. God has given us the tools. We just need to take care of them and sharpen them. We need to pour into ourselves. If you don't feel like you're equipped, start preparing. If God has not planted any seeds within you, if you feel like, oh, you know, like can't relate, start preparing. Start doing the little things so that you're ready. Go to the gym, take care of yourself, be more disciplined, find meaningful friendships, relationships. Find a place that really feels like home for you. Once God sees that you are actually ready to be blessed, it'll all work itself out. Trust me. It took me a long time to realize that. I feel like I've had so many dreams, so many thoughts. I'm like, naturally, my head is in the clouds. That's just who I've always been, a creative, if you will. But because of that, sometimes I get so consumed by ideas. Sometimes I have one idea and by the time I can even get that one finished, I have 10 others in queue waiting to be executed. It's just a matter of sorting them out. So just understand that these feelings are all within you for a reason. And they have to come out eventually. Make your mark. Think about it this way. The job you wanted to apply for, you didn't feel like your credentials lined up. You didn't feel like You would be the worthy candidate. You were nervous. You felt like, oh, maybe if I had one more qualification, or maybe if I did this other little job so I could add it to my resume, maybe then I'll be ready for it. And you let that day come and go to submit that. And the whole time God had that job for you. It was for you. It's so crazy the way that we as humans really fumble things sometimes. Whether it be people, jobs, dreams. Don't be that person. You'll know when things feel right, they'll be right. And it's really important to just put yourself out there and make sure you do not surround yourself with people that every time a seed is planted, they go and dig that damn thing up, because you'll never get anywhere. You'll wake up one day and realize all those people were temporary, and those thoughts and those dreams were the one thing that was supposed to keep you here forever. And when I say that, I mean that was meant to be your legacy. You let people uproot you from your legacy. These people that were only here for a moment because you guys had similar hobbies, interests, vices. That is buck wild. I think my only vice at this point is Diet Coke. That's how deeply I've gone with my pruning. You need to try your best to see yourself the way God sees you. And you might have so many blessings waiting for you. Financial abundance, family, love, like there are so many blessings waiting for you. And God put that idea within you because God knew that you would take all of that and bless others with it. You might not just be fumbling your dreams, you might be fumbling for so many other people as well. There is so much that is meant to be shared through you. There is so much that is meant to come from you. You can't play around with those things. Those things will come in your heart when you think about a person, when you think about a place, when you have a vision in your mind for what you want your life to look like. That is God speaking to you. And you might not be in touch with that. But this is your sign to acknowledge the fact that it is not coming from nowhere. There are two important quotes by two extremely beautiful minds that I admire, that I think definitely should be in this. Okay, so the first quote is by Rick Rubin. The quote is, "If you have an idea that you're excited about and you don't bring it to life, it's not uncommon for the idea to find its voice through another maker. This isn't because the other artist stole your idea, but because the idea's time has come. You were supposed to be the vessel, but you fumbled it." Do you know how significant of a quote that is? Because honestly, where do you think these ideas come from? From God. Why do you think the ideas are there? Because they serve a purpose. So if you have this thought, if you have this feeling, whether it be a song you want to write, a business you want to start, a painting you want to create, no matter what the idea is, it is within you because the time is now. God is so intentional. There are billions of people on this planet. If God is wanting to see change in this world and you are not willing to show up and bring it, God will plant that seed within somebody else and you will have to be just another spectator. So yeah, that is a quote from Rick Rubin, an amazing book that I read, The Creative Act. I've read it twice now. Got the audiobook. 1,000,000% recommend reading it, especially if you are a creative. And the second quote that relates to what I'm talking about today, if that one didn't resonate enough, is, I don't know if it's a direct quote because I listen to this meditation every single day when I go in the sauna, by Brianna Weiss, and it's from a series. I'll try to link it below if I can. It's on Spotify, but she makes a statement that has quite literally changed my life. She had said one of the reasons why we don't go after things in life is because we are afraid to, which is true. When we have these seeds planted within us, fear is typically the one thing that stops us from going for it. But the statement that she made is that whatever we fear the most is the complete opposite of what we love and what we want. So if you don't go after something because you fear the failure that might come with not being able to see it through, that's because if your fear is failure, what you are chasing is success. If your fear is getting your heart broken, what you're craving the most in life is love and companionship. Does that make sense? For me, whenever I feel fear, that I take as a sign there is something else there that I need, that I want. So whenever I'm like, oh, I'm scared to do this, or I'm nervous to do that, I'm like, what do I want? What am I avoiding? What am I, you know what I mean? Whether it be fear of rejection, that means I'm wanting to be accepted. That means I'm craving to be accepted. So how can I make that happen? I can't do that by fearing it, that's for sure. Think about what it is that you're fearing and understand that quite literally on the other side of that is everything that you want. You need to get past that fear to get what you want. And that is crazy. You need to go for what you want. When you feel it, it's there for a reason. There is so much that you are meant to have, that you're meant to give, that you are meant to feel, and you're just letting it pass you. Don't. Even for myself, I gotta stop doing that. I do it sometimes. Lately, I've been in a weird headspace, but that goes in my written journal because there's some things you just don't go to the internet about. But this, I hope it helps. Normally, I feel like I'm good at looking like directly at the camera, but there's trees and waves and everything behind me. If I'm looking all over the place in this video, I'm sorry. This is not normally where I record my thoughts, so bear with me, but I hope you take from this whatever was meant to find you. I hope there was a seed that was planted, because sometimes that's how God does things. Sometimes it'll be from something you see, something you hear, something you watch, and then it gets there. Take care of your blessings. Don't let them pass you by. As always, I love you, and I hope you have an amazing day.